morning. So good to be with you again. We're here in my home. Miss Peggy and Miss Carol's here to help me. I've got my dog Jackson over there. And it just so happens our story is about a dog today. We're going to read a story, and we've got a craft to do, and then we'll be singing a song too. All right. We're going to do our special song where we do, if you want to hear a story, clap your hands. So get those hands ready to go. And here we go. If you want to hear a story, clap your hands. If you want to hear a story, clap your hands. If you want to hear a story, if you want to hear a story, if you want to hear a story, clap your hands. All right, I guess we want to hear a story. And I let Betty Bear be in on us today. Here she is. Hi, Betty. There. Okay, this is Scupper the Sailor Dog. And this book is written by Margaret Weiss Brown, and the pictures are done by Garth Williams. It's a good story. The Sailor Dog. Born at sea in the teeth of a gale, the sailor was a dog, and Scuppers was his name. There he is on the ocean, sailing a boat. After he was born, he went to live on a farm. But Scuppers, born at sea, was a sailor. And when he grew up, he wanted to go to sea. So he went to look for something to get to the sea on. He found a big old airplane. All aboard, they said. It was going up in the sky. But Scuppers, he did not want to go up in the sky. Then he found a little submarine. All aboard, they said. It was going down under the sea. But Scuppers did not want to go under the sea. He wanted to go on the sea. Then he found a little car. Look at that car with all animals in it. See that? And they said, all aboard, come on in. But Scuppers did not want to go over the land. He wanted to go to sea. So Scuppers was a sailor and he wanted to go to sea. So Scuppers went over the hills and far away until he came to the ocean. And on that ocean was a ship. Oh, and it was blowing all of its whistles. All aboard, they called. And all ashore that are going ashore. All aboard. So Scuppers jumped on. And Scuppers went to sea. There he is in his little boat. The ship began to move slowly along. The wind made it ride through the waves, and Scuppers sailed all day long. And at nighttime, Scuppers threw the anchor into the sea to keep the boat safe and still, and he went down to his little room. Oh, wait till you see him in his little room. Look at that. Oh boy, that's his little room. He has a sink there and his bed. Oh boy. Well, when it was time to go to sleep, he hung his hat on the hook for his hat, and his rope on the hook for his rope, and his pants on the hook for his pants, and his coat on the hook for his coat. And then he put his shoes under the bed, and he climbed into bed under his cozy blanket, and he went to sleep. But the next morning, he was shipwrecked. Oh no, too big a storm blew out of the sky. The anchor dragged and the ship crashed onto the rocks. And there was a big hole in his ship. Look at that. And Scuppers himself was washed overboard and hurled over by huge waves onto the shore. There he is. It was foggy and very rainy, and there were no houses anywhere. But Scuppers needed a house to live in. Oh, but on the beach, he looked around, and he did see lots and lots of driftwood, pieces of wood that were left over by the sea. And then there was a rusty old box stuck in the sand. Maybe it was a treasure chest. He opened it up, and it was a treasure for Scupper. It was an old-fashioned toolbox with a hammer, nails, an axe, and a saw, everything he needed to build himself a house. Well, so Scupper started right away to build that house all by himself. He made it out of driftwood. He built a door and a window and a roof and a porch and floor and some walls all out of driftwood. And look at his house. It's kind of funny, but it's a wonderful house. And he even found some red bricks to build a chimney. So, look at that. After building that house, he was kind of hungry. He sure was. So he went fishing. He went fishing in a big river, and the first fish he caught never came up. The second fish he caught got away. Oh. And the third fish he caught was too little. It was that big. But the next fish he caught was just right. So he brought it back to his little house, and that night he cooked the fish that he caught, and the smoke went up his chimney. Look at that cozy little house right by the water. And the stars came out, and he was sleepy, so he made a bed of pine branches, and he jumped into his deep green bed and went to sleep. And there he is sleeping. Doesn't he look happy? Look at him. While he was sleeping, he had a dream. And he thought, if I could build a little house, I think I can fix my boat. Well, he thought about that, and the next morning he got up, and at low tide he took his toolbox and waded out and hammered planks across the whole of his ship. And the ship was fixed. He did it. So he sailed away until he came to a seaport in a foreign land. Look at this. They have different kinds of houses and palm trees. Look at all these different dogs. Wow. He's far away, huh? Well, he saw that his clothes are all worn and tattered and ripped and blown to pieces. His shirt was torn, and his hat and coat were gone, and his shoes were all worn out too. Only his pants were still good. So he went ashore, and he went to the Army-Navy store to get some clothes. First, he bought a coat. He found a red one that was too small. But then he found a blue one that was just right. Look at that snazzy coat. Oh boy, and then he needed a hat. He found a purple one that was just too silly. But then he found one that was just right. Look at that hat. Pretty nice. And then he needed new shoes. He found some yellow ones that were too small. So he looked again and he found these that were just right. Oh boy. And here he is, wearing his new hat and his new shoes and his wonderful coat with the brass buttons. And then he got a new rope and a bushel of nice fresh oranges to bring back to his boat. Oh, now Scupper wants to go back to his ship, so away he goes. And here he is, back on his ship. I want you to look at that picture. Doesn't he look happy? He's looking through his spyglass and seeing what's there. And at night, when the stars come out, he takes out his special spyglass and he looks at everything to make sure it's okay. And he puts down his anchor, and then he goes down to his little room, which we know what that looks like. And he puts his new hat on the hook for his hat, and a huge spyglass on the hook for his spyglass. And he hangs his new coat on the hook for his coat. And he hangs his pants on the hook for his pants. And his new rope on the hook for his rope. And his his new shoes he puts under the bed. And himself, he puts right into that little bunk and curls up and goes to sleep. And here he is, here where he wants to be, a sailor sailing the deep green sea. And there he is. Okay, on this page, we have a song. So I'll see if I can sing a song for you. You ready for this? And this is kind of a funny song. And look at, there's Scupper. This time he's sailing right past the lighthouse, just like we have around here. He's in his little sailboat. Okay. I'm Scupper's a sailor dog. I'm Scupper's a sailor dog. I can sail in a gale right over a whale under full sail in a fog. I'm Scuppers, a sailor dog. I'm Scuppers, a sailor dog. With a shake and a snort, I can sail into port under full sail in a fog. And that's a song. And you can make up some verses of your own, you know. I made up one. Let me see, it was Scuppers, a sailor dog. I'm Scuppers, a sailor dog. With a wave and a bark, I can sail in the dark under full sail in a fog. You can make up some silly ones yourself, okay? So that's the story of Scupper the sailor dog. And now we have our craft. I decided to make a little boat. This doesn't sail. You can't put it in the water, but it's a picture of a boat. And yours can look just the way you want it. It doesn't have to look like this at all. This is just the one I made. And I'll show you how to do it. First of all, I have a little circle. And I traced a plate to make that circle. And then I have a square, which you can make by folding a longer piece of paper into a square. Now, and then I had to get a little stick from outside. Okay, so now we fold our circle in half. And this is the top of the boat, and this is the bottom. And you glue it down on your piece of paper, like that. And then we have our square, and we fold that square in half with the pointy ends touching. And you have a sail. Look at that. Now, we've got our stick, and this can be the mast. You need to see it there. And we'll glue that down and glue the mast. The mast, you might need a little bit of Scotch tape because that's hard to glue something that's wooden down. We'll put a little bit of Scotch tape on it. And you can do your gluing and so on. And then you'll have it all set to decorate. Okay, and you can put some kids on here or whatever you want. You can make your sail have swizzly swirls or polka dots, anything you want. You can use a different piece of colored paper for your boat. Anyway, that's up to you to make your craft just the way you want. And that's what we've got for today. And it was nice to have you here today, and I want you to remember to do that one special thing for somebody to make them happy, make them smile. And that'll make you feel good inside too. And we'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day.